Hello everyone, welcome to the market snapshot for today. The Indian markets, they have pretty much remained where they were on in the last session, that is Monday. US markets have shown a great amount of strength, which was like quite visible from last two trading sessions, that is on Thursday and Friday, and they have carried on to the same strength even on Monday. So let's look at what is the numbers are saying. I would say good advances for the Indian markets. This was third session wherein the advances have been more than the declines. We got around 302 advances against around 198 of declines. The biggest positive of the day, I would say, we getting 21 new highs against 479 new lows. I think last month or maybe 45 trading sessions, the highest amount of new highs we got was 25, and then we had just fallen back to those levels of 10, 12. This is the second time, I guess, wherein we have crossed the figure of 20. So I would say still good, relatively strong numbers there. The breadth, I think, has improved in last three trading sessions again. I mean, it was doing very, very well, but then it went off track and now trying to get some momentum today. Uh, about 20 EMA, we got almost 302 stocks, above 50 EMA, 285 stocks, and then above 200 EMA, 267 stocks. The breadth is still not as strong as it was maybe last to last week. Those numbers are still not, we are not getting those numbers, but then still I would say it is not losing it the way maybe other Asian markets have lost the breadth. So I think relatively it is strong. I won't say it is a very strong market on its own, but then relatively it's a strong numbers. That is what I can say. Let's look at the chart. Nifty 50 again. Like, I mean, I think because the breadth and the participation has not been working, we look at this chart, it is just going down. Maybe slight more strength is what was needed. It did pretty well around these levels, and then I even anticipated this fall. This was all okay, but then this just not rising three lower lows straight in a sequence. That is not what I was looking for. But nevertheless, like, as I said, in isolation it doesn't looks good, but relatively the market is good. So no signs of worry still, I would say. And on the contrary, I would say India looks really strong compared to the other Asian markets. This is Nifty 500 again, almost like no movement as such, right? Yesterday, I think, yesterday it has closed on 23,000. Today it is 2295, almost there, like exactly where it opened, that is where it closed. Not much movement, but the good part is this chart looks like very, very strong compared to what Nifty is doing. Nifty looks a very weak chart, but this chart shows the strength. At the same time, the numbers are also much better when compared to Nifty. So let's look at what's happening here. Yeah, so Nifty 50, I mean, the trend is bullish, the participation is mixed, the breadth is mixed. We are not getting consistency here. That is the biggest problem with Nifty. The chart is not supporting, the numbers are not coming up, and that's the reason, it's just hovering here and there. Whereas if we look at Nifty 500, the trend is positive, it is bullish, participation is strong, and the breadth is strong. I think barring two sessions in last 10 odd sessions, Nifty 500 has remained very, very consistent. Whereas, getting anything out of Nifty 50 has been very dicey. I mean, there is no consistency except that it is just trading above 50 MA. That's the only consistency it has. Neither the participation remains consistent nor the breadth. And like I have been saying, for the Indian markets, it is better, to participate with Nifty small cap or Nifty 500, because somehow the large caps, Nifty maybe 50, Nifty 200, are not showing the strength we would have wanted. Let's look at the US numbers. I think little exhaustion here. I mean, the advances have dropped after two trading sessions. They were doing pretty well, but then yesterday's session we had around 229 advances to 271 declines. New highs 48. I mean, this is the highest number of new highs the market made, I think, in last 1 month or so. I mean, I think US market, uh, there are a lot of very contradictory things which are happening, and one of them is this. You just saw what the participation was, and just look at what the new highs are. And then the breath has improved. Like, I think this entire, like, last entire week, the breath was better, and again this has carried out to this week as well. Above 20 ma 327 stocks, above 50 ma 324 stocks, above 200 ma 306 stocks. Now see, if this is how this a strong breath should look, very consistent numbers above 20 ma 50 ma 200 ma. The only challenge about this would be whether it can sustain, because this is what is not happening for the US market. Very much like Nifty, wherein there is no consistency to the numbers. This is what the entire month of June has shown. There is no consistency to the numbers uh, in the breadth for the US markets. If this can remain, this is how a perfect breadth looks like. But then we'll have to wait and watch if at all this could be consistent. Let's look at the chart. Oh boy, like, you just look how strong this chart is. I mean, to 50 ma, it has bounced back, almost gave 2% in a day. That is Nasdaq 100 for you, the wildest animal of the jungle, I would say. This is Russell S&P 500. It's a just mirror image of Nasdaq 100. Took support from 50 ma and then bounced back. Very, very strong looking chart. Russell 2000, again a very, very strong looking chart. Just look, it is just consolidating at its highest level. You cannot ask for anything more. Let's see what is happening here for the trend, participation and breadth. For US 100, the trend is bullish, trading above 50 ma. Participation is mixed and the breadth is mixed. This is what the problem for the US markets is. There, we don't see consistency here. I mean, it's not that we have never seen. I'm talking about the month of June. These numbers have never, like, for the month of June, they have not remained consistent. That is the point of worry. S&P 500 bullish, trading above 50 ma. Participation mixed, breadth strong. Russell 2000 bullish, trading above 50 ma. Participation mixed and breadth is strong. See, amongst the two, three, I would say S&P 500 and Russell 2000 are the places where you can, place your bets. Russell US 100, Nasdaq 100 has not been doing well. I mean, the breadth has deteriorated significantly for the entire month. So for sure, I don't see any strength there. But then for sure, there are good opportunities in S&P 500 and Russell 2000. That is where even I am looking to place my bets. And that is what maybe I don't want to suggest, but that is where maybe you can look for opportunities. Let's look at the global macro, what's happening here. US 10-year yield almost at the same levels where it was in the last trading session. Dollar almost at the same level where it was in the last session. VIX has come down a little bit, which is fair actually, which is good. BTC has gone down, I think, by almost 800 points since yesterday. We had this since yesterday I spoke about this in my video. And gold, I think, has gone down by almost 70 points, not 70, I think 60 points since we last discussed. So yeah, I mean, see, like I was saying, the US is having a lot of contradictory things in the market. For instance, Nasdaq, it is rising with a deteriorating breath. Then yields are falling, and I mean, that's good news for the market. I think that is the reason markets are showing strength. But dollar is increasing. Increasing dollar basically tightens the liquidity in the market, and somehow this is again a contradictory to the rise in the US market. So there are a lot of very variable signals in the US market right now, and that's the reason going all in would not be a very appropriate step at this point of time for the US markets. I think how I would trade for the US markets is basically, I will take my conservative bets in indices which I like. For instance, uh, if you want to be sectoral, um, The financial sector is showing great strength in the US. Then industrial sector is showing great strength. Health is showing great strength. If you look at it, these are all defensive sectors. That means slowly, gradually, the liquidity is moving towards defensive sectors, and it is no more into very aggressive alpha equities. So that is how I would trade US markets. For BTC and gold, there are ample of shorting opportunities. Let's look at the dollar chart. See, it's a very strong looking chart, and this is where the concern is. If this keeps rising, the liquidity will be squeezed, and US equities will eventually have to follow this. They cannot keep rising with a dollar rising. Like I was saying, very very good opportunities in Bitcoin and gold. Just look at this chart. I mean, there are wonderful shorting opportunities. I think yesterday when I had posted this video, BTC was close to $60,000. It has almost gone down by 6, 7, and 800 points. So very good opportunities here. And same is the case with gold, almost down 60, 70 points since we last discussed. So look for opportunities in gold and Bitcoin for shorting them. At the same time, for US markets, I think I would say take conservative bets in Russell 2000 and S&P 500. And for Indian markets, Nifty 500 and Nifty small cap are very good places to be in. That's all from my side. Hope you all found this useful. Thank you so much and have a good one. See you next time.